get that back up. I'll just compensate what I'm seeing here on my side. So again, Rayhana, Nixon, still in a fight of their own. They've managed to extend that gap to 3.8 seconds. They are absolutely flying. Looking at that last lap time, and also matching pace. Rayhana with a 12.5 and Nixon with a 1:12.54. Sorry, a 5.48 from Rayhana, a 5.44. Nixon actually holding the fastest lap of the race thus far, an 11.424. So these guys are absolutely fighting as Nixon tries to look down the inside and didn't quite work there as they come to the penultimate corner. So again, it looks like Nixon's unsheathed the sword a little bit and might be looking to try and make an overtake. So that lead that they have right now of 4 seconds, it's extended to 4 seconds, might actually come down as they fight harder. Nixon's looking, potentially thinking about the inside, instead falls in line. So he's playing the smart move, knowing that there's plenty of laps to go. Don't risk anything too hard at the front. Make sure to keep some of that risk for the rear end of the race. Yeaman holding off Great Head there. Great Head also tried to go for a move inside, didn't quite work. So again, they fall in long, and he touched him on the rear. That was incredibly close, and it looks like that's going to allow Walker to now come up here. So he goes down to the outside. That'll be the inside for the chicane. Can he hold on to the position, or will he back out and play it safe? Plays it safe, so they fall back into a line of 3, and Yeaman still leads that pack.
Yeah, he certainly does, but that battle pack is getting very, very spicy right now. Almost as spicy as these two. Not quite as spicy, but it's getting spicy. You can see that these two are starting to really push, trying to boost the track limits more than we saw them doing earlier. I think what has happened, if I had to guess, is that they've pulled the gap that they are happy with to the cars behind, and now they're feeling like they can go hammer and tongs for what should be the victory of this race, unless there is some sort of drama that unfolds. And you can just see that battle pack behind them at 4.6 seconds adrift, which they don't look like they're catching at all. We're on lap 12 and they're already 4.5 seconds behind, which means they have been 3 tenths of a second, 4 tenths of a second a lap slower than these two, which is absolutely insane pace to displaying here. And you can see actually on the last lap they did a 12.6, 12.7. Yemen was a 13.7, and those behind him were slower.
You can see Nixon there, 0.2 behind Rayhana, so he's still trying to make his way past. The gap to Yeaman is now 5 seconds. They are so far and away, those two at the front, and then Great Head and Walker again within the 0.5. So a nice fight here for the guys for P3. It seems as though Great Head maybe got bit the last time. I see smoke coming out of the pit lane. Did someone go into the wall? Oh my God, Rayhana's going down.
And Yemen's first, Rayhana Nixon have crashed. Or something. Something's gone on between Rayhana and Nixon. They're both dropping down the timing screens. And here we go. Here's Rayhana. And there's Nixon. And they're still battling. They've dropped down together. They're still fighting. They're side by side into it to boot. And Rayhana manages to maintain the position. What has happened there? They had a commanding lead, and they now sit in 4th and 5th. With Daniel Yeaman in the lead, Lewis Greathead promoted into 2nd, and Dylan Walker on the final spot of the podium. This just got exciting. This is going to be brilliant. I was worried these two were going to drive away and make it a bit of a boring race, but with these two hoping to reclaim the positions that they lost, this should be exciting. And I believe we're going to have pit strategy to come into this as well. Let's have a look at what happens. Condex is going for a move down the inside.
Oh, it's a bit of a touch on the rear, yeah. Now, Connor's done the gentlemanly thing and slowed down to give the place back, which has obviously thrown them back further down the field. So, really good showing there from Nixon to try and alleviate the mistake. Yeaman's probably looking at it being like, I'll take that, thanks. He now moves into the lead of this race. So what was looking like a cork in the bottom? Shot out of the champagne bottle. Yeaman now leading in the back. Great Head and Walker there. So you can imagine Rayhana and Nixon are still going to fight this, knowing the pace that these two have. They'll most likely catch up to that front group in no time at all. The gap's already down to about a second. Now the question's going to be how easily do they make their way through, because we've seen Danny be able to defend quite well against the 2 cars behind him thus far. So now it's going to be quite interesting how it all develops. You can see some of the gaps have increased back further. Malcolm is now within quite a short distance to Agathos there in P12, Duffy to Cowham in P8, and Vornick to Snadden. So, yeah, this didn't go the way that I thought it would. I didn't think those two would come together that early. But in any case, it has. So that's the switch up. You can see Vornick coming in the pit stop now.
Yes, this must be the critical lap where you can make it home on fuel, otherwise there's no way. And it can be on lap 15 of 30, so actually they could just be legs. Don't make this the critical lap. That would be my guess. One thing we did see is that after that contact, Ray Harmon did reverse into the wall, so he did let the car go back. Now, what we don't know is if he's had any damage from that. My hope is that he has a penalty. You know, he's been fighting with Nixon's behind him, which might indicate that he doesn't. However, there is also a 1.2 second gap to Dylan Walker ahead. Now, given these two are running consistently mid to high 1 minute 12s before the contact, and the last lap they both did in 1 minute 13, which is a very similar pace, basically exactly the same pace as those ahead. I do wonder whether Ray Harmon is carrying a little bit of damage, and that's why we haven't seen him move forward. And I wonder if Nixon is
coming in the pits.
Was partially staying behind him deliberately because he recognised that he had damage. So it'd be interesting to see if now that he has released Nixon, whether Nixon is able to smash out some lap times and undercut him and catch up with these guys ahead.
Are there fast repairs in this series? So Hannah will obviously take advantage of that as it comes in. So Nixon's been released. He'll now have free reign to try and chase down Walker there. Gap to those, 1.5 seconds. Daniel Yeaman still doing a fantastic job out in front, leading. It doesn't seem as though Greathead's tried to attack as hard, and it does seem as though Dylan Walker also has backed out. Dylan Walker is trying to shoot at the inside in a couple of corners there. But the moves on Greathead, it doesn't seem like that's the case. So I wonder if maybe they've tempered themselves and are just waiting. You can see just how much the cars just roll through those corners and just spin. And so a lot of effort to keep these cars in a straight line. Really good job considering. Oh, as Daniel Yeaman takes a really wide line coming through the penultimate corner. Greathead tries to look down the inside. It gets cut off, but they both come in. So Greathead's going to stay out. Walker and Yeaman come in, as well as Connor Nixon. And I believe that's Dane Snadden in the yellow 3 as well.
Yeah, pretty much everybody pitting all the way down to Jamie Dyke, who was well down in the field and sort of the back end of the top 10, possibly even just outside it. So it's very interesting to see so many pitting on the same lap. That does make me think that this is them running out of fuel, given they've decided to put on the same lap, which is interesting because that does imply that Greathead might have been saving a bit of fuel, as was Jamie Dyke. So Greathead might have more pace than he was showing behind Yemen, which could be crucial for this race because, as we saw, Greathead was in second place with Yemen in first. And if he's able to run faster when he starts using his fuel, he might be able to get an undercut, get past Yemen and sneak into the lead of this race.
Let's see if that strategy pays off. So obviously going for the overcut in comparison to everyone else. As those pit stops resolve, Ray Hana P5 at the moment. Walker and Yeaman come out in front of him, but only barely as he touches the back of the car. You can see it can slide sideways. Rayhana manages to recover, so does Walker. But Rayhana really did want to try and capitalize on the momentum that he had. Of course, he had warmer tires. Hasn't eventuated to work. Will stay in P4. Connor Nixon comes out in P7. 4.7 seconds down on P6. So again, as we pass over that halfway mark, lap 18 of 30, Rayhana now looking to the inside. Will he brake later and commit? He's there. Dylan has to acknowledge it. They're going to push each other a little bit wide. Actually, they stay within the track limits. That's really good driving from both of them. Walker now has the inside line to the last corner. He'll extend out as much as possible, which he does. So he will hold on to P4 for now. And Greathead at least has... sorry, I take that back. He comes into the pits. And it looks like Yeaman and Walker and Rayhana will overtake. Here comes Greathead out now. He'll probably drop down to P5. Please. He'll
filter in behind. He'll do does, he'll do well to stay ahead of the warning. He's got him climbing all over the back of him. He's climbing all over the back of Rayhana. Look how unstable that car looks. You see, shaking the wheel all over the place as he came out of that right-hander. The car settled down a bit now, really attacks that curve. You see the car jump so soft as the suspension, and they're just riding it like a bull through those corners, but able to manhandle the thing around. It is Yeaman in the lead of this one with Walker, Rayhana, Greyhead, Warnick, and Nixon. So Nixon, one of the losers through that pit sequence. I wonder if he had trouble coming into the pit, slow down too much, if something happened, because that seems like he's lost his couple of spots, considering he was right alongside Rayhana when Honda pitted. Either that or the undercut has been proved to be the much better strategy. Rayhana in third place, right again, confident.
So, if I've got this correct, they'll only have to do one lap. One pit.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So we're seeing. All right. So we're seeing a race to the end now. So this might have worked incredibly in Daniel Yeaman's favour. 2.25 seconds in front of Walker for P2. Rayhana is doing everything that he can to try and make up this gap, but it seems as though he just can't make the move stick. Greyhead is also there, looking for an opportunity. Warnick comes out in P5, so he is back in the battle at the front. Looking a little bit down at the start of this race, but as pit stops have resolved, it looks like he's in a strong spot now. So, as we see those gaps extend, very, very curious to see whether or not people are saving tyres, maybe for a last push. And geez, that curve is absolutely a suggestion. Nobody uses that on this version of this layout of Watkins Glen. And to be fair, they need all the help they can get. These cars don't take the best of times. They're just doing the best of what they've got. And yeah, here we go, coming along for lap 19. And the gaps have just exploded. Oliver, 0.3 to Duffy there for P7, but everyone else is outside that 1 second mark. So if it stays like this and he doesn't put a foot wrong, I think Yeaman might have just
he might. And let me frank, his lucky stars that Nixon ended up down in sync to some sort of trouble, I assume, because he's still on 11.3, which is half a second quicker than anybody else, and almost a full second quicker than the majority of the field. So he's absolutely flying out there with a bit of clean air in front of him in sixth spot, but he's been 2 seconds before he catches Nick Corner. Clears the 4 cars between himself and Yeaman, so I don't think it's going to happen for Nixon, despite having fantastic pace down in sixth. Dylan Walker and Rayhana running similar pace to Yeaman, but no distinct difference there, so they're not going to catch him as it is. They're going to have to find some pace if they want to put Yeaman's lead in jeopardy, but a lead that doesn't seem to have been in jeopardy as far as we know here is that of Trent Lavis in the other split. He is still leading that split with Leah in second and Baldwin in third, and it has been the 3 of them all race long from what I've seen.
6 seconds. Lavis has a lead of 6 seconds. He's absolutely flying. So have they already done their pit stops? I'd imagine so, with 10 laps to go.
Yes, you would have to assume that the field has been cleansed at this point.
Wow. So yeah, Lavis is absolutely trucking along. Pun intended. So yeah, that's a really good job there for Split B. We'll keep an eye on that as time progresses. We're down to the last stretch, the last third of each race. Yeaman's still comfortably in the lead here, 2 seconds to Walker there. Rayhana's dropped down to 1.2, so it does look like something isn't right. I don't know if he just can't get back into the groove or not, but he's not doing the same times that he was, and Walker is managing to keep that white gap there. So again, it does look like the results you see on the screen are probably what's going to happen when we cross the line. Greathead's doing a fantastic job in order to maintain the gap to Rayhana there, so we could still see an opportune moment for an overtake coming up, but it does seem like that gap is shrinking rapidly. And the only other battles here is Oliver to Duffy there, so it looks like Oliver and Dyke have got a nice fight there for P7.
And just look at Greyhead here, turning the screws on Rayhana. It's not something we expect to see earlier on in this race, but he's sitting there, only 2 tenths behind Rayhana, basically pushing through the first corner. So we just see if he can get the move done, because he's looking very, very aggressive behind Jackson as we get to Jamie Dyke, who was in that battle you just mentioned with Duffy, Oliver, and Dyke. He's the third and final car in this battle, but all 3 cars Oliver must not know whether to be looking forwards or backwards at this point, but he's gone wide in there. He's got it all run through the boot. He's had to cut over the grass. Be interested to see if he's got away with that or if he'll get a slowdown. Because if he does get a slowdown, Dyke will be through in a matter of seconds. That would be funny if they realise that and they don't care about this. But that's okay. You'd expect him to lift on the start finish straight. If he does have a slowdown, he would have had a bit of time to clear it. So looking confident Dyke was with that corner, able to run the tight line and just go through there faster than Oliver ahead. Oliver does not look like he's got handle on that car throughout that lap. Hopefully it was just a scruffy lap and he's able to get back into the groove. But at the moment you'd suspect that he'd be more likely to come under pressure than to be applying pressure. Although saying that, Duffy is just locked into the first corner lap. His exit, which means he won't get a good run all through here. He'll be leaking speed to the cars behind, and Dyke is going to get an amazing tow, as will Oliver. So there might be a move coming into the boot here. We'll know if there is because you'll see Oliver jump to the inside and make his intentions clear.
Oh, Greathead's had an incident.
He has.
See Greathead to the left there of the camera. Not exactly sure what happened there, but he has dropped down all the way to P8. He's probably going to lose another position here as Dyke goes through. So P9. So I'm not sure what happened there, but he was in a close battle with Rayhana. Now I wonder if he's tried to make a move. Oh, he's braked on the grass. But luckily keeps it out of the fair. Keeps it out of the fence. But you do not, that's not something you want to do when you've only got a handful of laps to go. That is devastating there for Greathead. And we go back to Malcolm. Bang, right into the fence. And that is a killer curb. It's very easy to absolutely Tony Hawk Pro Skater over that. And Malcolm did it, hit at the fence, and he's gone back into the pits.
Yeah, it certainly has. That car will not want to go anywhere in the jiffy, and it is now 3 laps down. And I think it's the same from this race. However, Greathead hasn't retired. It looks like he might be retiring away from the shot, but he has continued on in this currently sat in 10th place, just turned into. No, it is still in 10th place. So that is Con Nixon getting past Warnick. So we did mention Con Nixon having a heap of pace, but sat in 6th place. He's now in 4th place in 2 seconds behind Jackson Rayhana, and still putting in lap times that are quicker than those around him. So we can see what he can do, and if he can rekindle that romance between him and Rayhana that they had at the start of the race that burned out before its time. So fingers crossed that battle develops and we can have some fireworks for the end of this one. And Greathead's just got ahead of Cohen back into 9th place, and he'll be chasing down Dyke, Oliver and Duffy next. Although Coham has returned serve and got past Greathead. So they're having a nice little battle. Indeed, Greathead has pulled into the pits, so I think he may be retiring from the race.
So interestingly, over the past couple of laps, Dylan Walker in P2 had managed to reduce the gap from 2 seconds down to about 1.5. He was lapping faster than Daniel Yeaman there, but on that previous lap, he went slower again, so the gap is now neutralized back towards that 2-second mark. So I thought that maybe with 5 laps to go in this race, that if he could keep up that momentum, he might be able to try and fight to the end. But it does seem as though, where the pace is going, that that gap will stabilize. Rayhana also there around that 1.7 mark. You can see Nixon's also floating, so everyone from 1st to 5th mirroring each other's gap. So unfortunately, it does seem as though it will be quite processional to the end. However, we've seen some mistakes happen around that turn 1 and coming into the chicane, so there's still plenty of time for someone to slip and put a foot across. But as it stands right now, it looks as though it might stay quite stable. Dyke now trying to look for a move here. He stays to the white line here on the main straight. Is he going to try and look for an inside dive? No. Decides to keep it nice and steady. Oliver's rear end comes out a little bit far. That's going to work in Dyke's favour. He gets a little bit of a bump again as they run up towards turn 3. But no, again, sensible. It's going to allow Warnick there in P5 to get away a little bit. The fight will now stay with Oliver and Dyke for P7. But unfortunately, the gap has exploded there. It looks like Rayhana, something happened to Walker. He's dropped down to 3 seconds, and Rayhana is back within that 0.5 gap.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he's taking Nixon along for the ride, so we might not have a battle for first place, but I think we're going to have a right ding-dong battle for second over the last 3.5 laps of this race. Made that 3 laps because they're about to cross the start-finish line. There's Colin Nixon just in the background. This is Dylan Walker, the focal point of your screen right now, and the green car that we've come to know and love throughout this race is Jackson Rayhana, doing a fantastic job recovering after a spin. He was sent into a spin by Nixon, got a bit of damage on his rear end, got the car back over to pit lane, got it fixed, and then has been trying to recover. The positions lost, was down in 5th, currently sits in 3rd, and is going to try and make that 2nd, although looks like he's lost a little bit of time to Walker through that pit. So this is a call out the job that Yemen is doing. His lap times have been very, very good since he hit the front. They've certainly, this second stint has certainly been stronger than his first stint, so I think he's found a bit of pace as the race has progressed, and he's looking really good value for that victory right now.
This race, 3 laps to go. As you said, Liam, Yemen doing a fantastic job out in front. We can see the battle here on your screen, and it's Walker and Rayhana. Walker doing a fantastic. Whoa! It's Connor Nixon. Takes that quite literally, goes way out wide. I wonder if that's considered a penalty. I'm not sure as we cut now to Duffy and Dyke. Look at them go side by side. And wow, Duffy absolutely loses there to Oliver and Dyke. I thought maybe it'd be a bit more of a fight, but he's absolutely lost it through the horseshoe. And the other two have capitalized on it big time. So Duffy moves down into P8, Oliver into P6. Now Dyke becomes the cream in the Oreo as per. It looks like he might even go for a move. Let's see. He'll slot in behind. And again, desperation would make him dive to the inside. But no, I think these guys are a little bit scared to do so because they know just how unstable these cars can become under heavy braking. Oh, but
that was not good.
Oliver goes wide. And Dyke tried to inch forward. Didn't quite get it. So again, they're staying in line as they are. There's 2 laps to go. So if Dyke wants to make a move, he's going to have to pull the trigger sooner rather than later.
Is going to have to do something pretty soon. Only a couple of laps to go, but you can see how hard it is, how tentative any drivers are to try and make a move up the inside. We've only seen 2 or 3 genuine overtaking movers that haven't come from a mistake from the car ahead all stream, and that is because there's just not the confidence in these cars to brake a little bit later, to take a slightly different line, because they are so on edge as you go around the corner. They're just not confident making those adjustments. So you are relying on the driver ahead to make a mistake, and we saw that mistake come from Oliver into corner 1, going too deep, not able to carry the momentum, but Dyke just could not find a way past as he went up the hill, and then yeah, just couldn't make it work. And it looks like Duffy's coming a little bit detached from these two. Detached is probably a bit harsh, he's still in a second, but you can just see he doesn't look nearly as threatening to Dyke as Dyke does to Oliver at this exact moment.
And he is dropping down in terms of the pace there, so it does look like Oliver and Dyke will stay forward. And as we move over to the front part of the grid here, so again, Daniel Yeaman, 2.8 seconds in the lead. It looks like he really does have this in the bag. I hope I don't commentate a curse him by saying that, but he has done an excellent drive throughout the entirety of this race, and it looks like it will work in his favor. But the fight behind him, the 3 cars, Nixon has managed to catch up to Rayhana, and Rayhana has still maintained the gap to Dylan Walker. So as we come around the final couple of corners for the penultimate lap, you can expect the desperation to start to set in. Nixon trying to go a little bit harsher into some of these, trying to gain some speed. You can see him down on the inside. Look at the tail swing as he catches the car. White flag in the air. Rayhana moves over to the inside. Now it's going to be a drag battle between these two. Dylan Walker will get a little bit of respite as these two fight. Nixon tries to push Rayhana as far as he can. He goes a little wide. So now the tail end of Walker, that's going to allow the other two to catch him. Nixon's going to try and box in Rayhana to kill his momentum there. That's exactly what happens. Rayhana will have to fall in line now and take the draft as they run down to the chicane. Again, 29 laps of craziness. It all comes down to the final one.
Yeah, Walker will be very, very happy that Nixon and Rayhana were going side by side through lap 1, because he got caught, turn 1, because he got caught 1 all wrong, and almost certainly would have been overtaken had it not been for the fact that Nixon and Rayhana have slowed each other down fighting into turn 1 and weren't able to capitalise, but he's got a couple more corners to hold on, and Nixon looks very aggressive here. You can see how wide he's taking that corner, looks deliberate, but there's just nowhere to make a move. It's so tight, unless there's a mistake. Unless there's a mistake from the car ahead, it should be Yemen, Walker, Nixon. How this finishes, just avoid the wall on the outside and you're good. You've got the podium sewn up. Both of them do that. There's a bit of a tail wag there, which is going to put Nixon alongside as they approach the line, but Walker holds on. It is Yemen for the victory. Walker in second, Nixon in third, Rayhana in fourth. Then we have Dwarnick in fifth, and Oliver's going to win out in the battle between himself, Dyke and Duffy. That has gone on for many, many laps. And it is Dwarnick, Oliver, and Dyke. Duffy, Cohen, and Agafos should bring it home to round out the top 10.
Yeah, so an excellent race there from Walker, Nixon, and Rayhana at the end. They fought valiantly. Now, am I mistaken, or are Walker and Nixon on the same team? They have the same livery. So, if they are indeed on the same team, that is incredibly smart teamwork, because when they came out of turn 1 on that final lap, I could see what Connor Nixon wanted to do. He wanted to box in Rayhana to force him to have to drop back of the pack, and that's exactly what happened. So if that was in fact a teamwork move, then, you know, power to him. Otherwise, yeah, it was just a poor choice of position there for Rayhana, losing out on P3, just outside the podium there. But again, a valiant effort from everyone, but absolute congratulations and props to Daniel Yeaman. I don't think he expected this race to go the way that it did, because when he went past both leaders to take the lead of the race, yeah, he must have felt like he got given a gift from God.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the two leaders taking each other out and joining behind them, but he was under a lot of pressure, remember, in that first stint. We were speculating that he might be the cork in the bottle, but he just unlocked some extra pace in that second stint and never looked backwards. He was the fastest man in that second stint. Yes, he got the lead through a bit of chance, but then once he was in the lead, he was the fastest person on track. So, yeah, he really turned around from stint 1 to take home a fairly dominant victory in the end if we just focus on that second stint. And it's a drop by Motorsport 1, 2, 3, so they'll be very happy that they have locked up the podium here with Jackson Rayhana representing Summit Sim Sports just at the podium in fourth. Deserved the podium for the race. Rayhana just didn't go his way, took a tap from Nixon and just not able to recover back into the podium spots. Dwarnick, a really good race from him. He finishes in 5th place, up 6 spots, and was the biggest mover in the field, with Dave Oliver and Jamie Dyke both up a respectable 4th and 5th between them. And actually matching Dwarnick for biggest mover was Dylan Walker in 2nd. Then we had behind them Duffy, Cohen, and Agafos in the top 10. Then it was Snadden, Davidson, Franklin Bullock, King, Gray, Head after that late collision, Malcolm, Newens, Schultz, and Smith at the back of the field. And I believe we've been joined in the box by the first of our drivers tonight, and it is Trent Lavis, who I believe took the victory in the other split. Is that what did occur in the end?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, put it on pole. I did a 111.07 and basically drove away from the boys. They started dicing first quarter and got a run and just sort of set my pace and pulled away. I got about a 10-second gap, or just 9.5-second gap by the end of the race there from the Learjet and Trucker Joe in third.
So that equates to a gap of 3 to 4 attempts on lap. Where does that come from? Do you have a feeling for where you're finding that speed?
Just saving the tyres, mate. Just look, carrying the momentum and not buzzing the tyres. By the end of the stint, I think it was nearly half a second, 8/10 of a second quicker in some laps when I pushed a little bit harder. So, no, it's an interesting car to drive, and it brings me back to the OG days of the Friday night Xfinity NASCARs, driving around with Hobbo and Posy Waite and Carl Watmore and boys.
So are these cars on road circuits in particular something that you really love and something that you've got practice and a knack for, or is it just something that comes naturally to you?
Bit of both. I was never the fastest back in the day, but I got better and better and better by driving those cars, these types of cars. So the more you drive them, the better you get, in my opinion, in any other car in the sim. So definitely worthwhile jumping in and having a dip if you haven't done it before. It's a lot of fun, frustrating as heck at first when you're learning, but the key is just to be patient and just be really smooth on your inputs.
Yeah, well, congratulations! What sounds like a very, very well deserved victory in a very, very straightforward Wednesday night drive for you. So hopefully you had fun driving away from everybody. And is this a series where you're going to return to next week?
Yeah, I only missed last week because I was getting my bogan on at Bathurst. So back home in the sim this week, and I'll try and make as many as I can, depending on work commitments and other things. But I'd like to keep doing the series as much as I can, if possible.
Yeah, that's a spectacular reason to miss a race. Look, go enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers, legend. Cheers.
All right, we'll move over to our second interviewee for the post race show, and that would be Joe Baldwin, who I believe did you get second in the end in the other split?
No, mate, no, I got certainly wasn't expecting it, but got third. I managed to get a really good start. I was in the right hand lane, two back from Trent, so I think I qualified fifth, I think, and just got a good start. And normal cold tyre stuff, just people spun the tyres off turn one and just got good track position. And for the rest of the race, well, right up to the pit stop, I had Reece Gosler putting the absolute blowtorch to the rear bumper the whole race, like up to the pit stop. And then after that, there was a couple of lap cars that got involved, and Wade Sheedy, I think it was, got around him, and he had the blowtorch on me through to the finish. So was more a case of probably wasn't as quick as them, but it was just about racing smart and putting the car in the right spot. And I was good up through the S's. They couldn't sort of get a run on me down to the bus stop from there. So the run from the start line through to the bus stop on lap one probably set me up for the top three in the end, and just keeping it. So I never got my first off track until I think lap 22, which I was filthy about. I was hoping to get the bonus points, but it's been nice to finish a race.
It is very nice to finish a race. It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, after the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. How did you feel about the difficulty of overtaking? So you said you were able to defend basically all race with faster cars behind you, and in this split that we had televised, we didn't see many overtakes without a mistake from the car ahead. So did you get a feel for just how difficult overtaking was around here in these cars?
Oh, incredibly. Even some of the lap cars, when we're coming up to pass them, if they hadn't have been really courteous, we wouldn't have got around them. Like they were just, yeah, you might have been half a second a lap faster or whatever, but like I said, sort of what helped me, I was good up through the S's. It was probably about the only spot that I was good, and I think I only hit the bus stop probably once out of the 30 laps. But unless somebody worked with you when you got onto their rear bumper, you wouldn't get by them. So it certainly made it easy with the way it happened, and the lap cars were very mindful, which was great.
Yeah, that's good to hear. It's nice to hear that the lap cars are being mindful, unlike a certain somebody at Bathurst who shall not be named. Anyway,
Yes. No, we'll keep that one for the podcast.
yes, we'll keep that one for the podcast. How is the podcast going?
I think we're 350 or so views, I think, on YouTube at the moment. We've still got to get it up onto Spotify. And we've got a couple of guests already lined up for the next couple of episodes to come in and have a chat. So they'll be ones not to miss. Two very well-known figures, not on the committee team or anything, but very well-known in the club regardless. And I'm sure they'll both have an interesting story for us.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing you racing a bit later in the week. You tend to race pretty much everything you can. And until then, take care. We'll speak to you again soon.
No worries. Thanks, Liam. Thanks, guys.
All right, and next we will talk to the winner of our featured split for the night. It is, of course, Daniel Yeaman. Now, Daniel, how were you feeling when you saw Nixon and Rayhana off on the side of the road?
Yeah, that completely changed the game there. I was just had a couple of moments where I was dropping back, making mistakes at turn one, in particular, and that completely changed the game. So yeah, was at that point was settling in for third place if I could hang on to it. And then all of a sudden, yeah, to be elevated to the race lead, completely changed the game for me there.
Yeah, it was one of the things we noticed that in the first stint, it seemed like a bit of a cork in the bottle because you had cars within half a second of you, basically the entirety of that first stint, and it looked like until Rehana and Nixon had their incident, you just couldn't keep up with them. But then second stint, you're the fastest guy on track. So, so what happened?
I think really it's just a case of managing the truck a little more carefully there in the back half of the race. Once I knew that after pitting in response to Jackson to make sure I was able to try and cover him off, and because I was a little worried that the undercut being really powerful on a fresh set of tires. Once I knew I was out in front, I was just okay. No need to overdrive every corner, manage it. I think Connor did get some really quick laps in at the end, so he had the raw pace on me to finish off. But just, I think really it was just a case of pulling back the brake marks because I was going for a bit of a full immersion attempt. I'm using H pattern shifter, full heel toe, clutching, and everything when I was on the downshift. So I think that did trip me up a couple of times at turn one in particular. But yeah, just really steady. Didn't need to push too hard. Had a margin after the pit stop, and just tried to hang on to it.
So, what made turn one in particular so tricky?
Just something about the way coming down. I was going fourth into third and third into second, and just the amount of engine I was giving it on the blip with the downshift just sometimes didn't get enough in there. Just partially locked up the rear axle, and then the car would slide in a bit deep, and then I was chasing the rear all the way through and past the apex.
Yeah, so just a lot going on in a short period of time, so hard to get it consistent every lap, and then that's something you managed to get on top of for the second stint.
Yeah, 100%. Just yeah, making sure I could back up the brake marks, knowing I wasn't under any pressure after the pit stop. Just a matter of managing the lap times and being as consistent as I could, and as a result, yeah, don't drive into turn one as hard.
Yeah, we did a fantastic job of that in the like I said in the second stint. You actually grew your gap to second in the end, so you got to be pretty happy with that. And how good does it feel to be beating two of your teammates?
Very big surprise to come out ahead of Connor. Unfortunately, yeah, with him tangling with Jackson before the pit stop, and also apparently didn't quite get the stop positioning in his box right, so he lost a bit of time there. So he tried to come back through at the end there and pick up a couple of spots. So that was a gift. And Dylan had a mistake towards the end of the race as well, which opened up the margin because he was keeping with me and even just taking a tenth or two out of me on several laps there. So that just that could have easily been a two-way race, or even more, because I can see some of the slow mo. Like the other guys behind weren't too far back towards the end, so it was really a case of I had to be as perfect as I could be, and thankfully checked that box tonight.
Yeah, well, congratulations on a really well deserved victory. You sort of got lucky to get into the position to win the race, but once you were there, you absolutely smashed it out of the park. So congratulations, and go and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you very much, Liam, and yeah, off to Super 2 for me tonight to try and do the double. Well, not do a double in terms of results, but certainly do a double on track in terms of participation.
Well, who knows? Maybe you'll do a double. Best of luck with that.
Not even close in the V8s, I can tell you that much.
All right, we'll move over to your teammate Connor Nixon now. Connor, got to start with the incident. Just talk us through what happened.
Which one, mate? I was in a few tonight.
The one with the big one, the one with Jackson Rahana.
Oh yeah, it was unfortunate. It was really yeah, just didn't expect him to be so slow just on the exit. He kind of just had no drive, so I put my foot in it and I'm kind of thinking, oh, he's going to go eventually. He just doesn't go, so unfortunately I've ended up hitting him, redressed the position, and yeah, just went from there.
Yeah, we noticed the redress, and thank you for redressing. That's something we do like to encourage you here at the GSRC. Once you redressed, you ended up in a bit of a battle with him, and it looked like you got past him at one point, but then ended up back behind. Was there a story there, or was it just racing things?
Yeah, so the pit stop was unfortunate. Ended up just yeah, going into the box with the rest of the guys, and ended up being too far on the right apparently, and I moved a millimeter and then it was fixed. So look, it was just iRacing doing iRacing things, so I had to deal with that. And yeah, then had to catch up about 6 seconds to the guys in front. So luckily, Lewis and all the boys up there were fighting hard. So yeah, I caught up, you know, easily enough, but still had to just blow the tires off it. I was streaming tonight on YouTube, so if anyone wants to go back and watch me just absolute railed the car on the tires. Yeah, go and watch it.
Oh wait,
might,
so you were too far
oh.
right in the pit lane?
Correct. Yeah.
So as if you were squishing the crew into the garage.
Yeah, I wasn't treating them like humans. I was treating them like objects. So yeah, it wasn't too good there. So yeah, no, it was definitely all on me. But yeah, look, it could have been a very good win tonight. But yeah, it is what it is.
And Daniel, you have a few questions?
I do. I have one question. I have one question. This goes to Connor and Dylan. Did you so turn one, last lap? Did you mean to work together in boxing Jackson Rayhana, or was that a happy accident?
I would have loved to Walker do that, but he's just wobbled out to turn one. And
Okay.
yeah, look, yeah, definitely yeah, he wobbled out there, but yeah, Jackson didn't think that, and very unsportsmanlike. He yeah, yelled over the radio, so yeah, no good at all. But yeah, look, it definitely wasn't on us.
Now, look, and I'll give you guys absolute full credit here. That is exactly how I called it, because I saw that Dylan, just like I mentioned, that it's really easy. The way I put it is, it's really easy to Tony Hawk Pro Skater that curb. If you get right on that, just right on the rise, you bottom out, and it's really easy to just lose it. And I saw that Dylan, when you came through that corner, it's exactly what happened to you when you went a little bit sideways and had that wiggle. And so obviously that slowed you down, and Rayhana was trying to go up on the inside, and obviously Connor, you were staying on the outside. And as you guys worked your way up to turn two, I mentioned it. I said, oh, this is crazy because Connor's going to box Rayhana in here. And then later on, I realized that you guys were running the same livery, and I've gone, hold on, was that on purpose? But no, look, I'll give you guys the benefit of the doubt there. Obviously, Dylan had that little wobble, and you've just absolutely capitalized on it.
Look, it's not encouraged, you know, at all. I think it's just how it happened. You know, I was on the outside, and I just went, oh, you know, Hail Mary, kind of had the cross over my neck, trying to help as much as possible. But look, it was yeah, look, I'm disappointed just with the sportsmanship out of that whole thing. But look, it is what it is. We move on to V8s, and hopefully we can get another win.
That's exactly right. We move on. But again, look, a fantastic drive from both of you guys. It seemed as though you might have been out just with all the incidents, like you said, that early one, and then of course the pit stop out of there. But man, the drive that you did, managing to get back up there in that fight, it put a spice there. We thought it might be very processional towards the end, but as those lap counters started to come down and the gap started to close between yourself, Rayhana, and Dylan, yeah, we saw that it was on, and you guys didn't disappoint.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
So
I think Walker should. I was going to say, I think Walker should talk. I talked that whole time. Apologies, mate.
No, you're good. But yeah, just on the incident, look, I blew up T1 a few laps prior. I used up all my tyres trying to catch Dan at the start of the stint and had nothing left. And yeah, on the last lap there, just went deep again, and it was a happy accident. If we somehow managed to coordinate that, it would have been very impressive to do. So yeah, look, there's no way you can go deep on purpose and block someone like that. It just, yeah, it was heat of the moment, kind of working with your teammate. Obviously, that's the main goal. But look, I've never had any intention to block Jackson. So yeah, apologies to him if it came across that way. But yeah, that wasn't the intention.
No, I don't think it came across that way. We were just wondering here in the commentary box. Up 6 spots. That's got to be a better position than you were expecting at the start of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't really have the pace, to be honest. Got, as I said, very lucky with Connor and the incident with Jackson. 2 freebies, and yeah, just the pit strategy. Dan kind of called it coming in early to try and cover Jackson, and yeah, worked against Lewis, which was, yeah, really, really good.
Yeah, it was really good. Any noticeable battles that you wanted to call out, or any drivers that you had fun racing with tonight?
No, it was actually quite a chill race for me. I was following Lewis the entirety of the first stint. Then we came in and I was trying to chase down Dan. Then after that, probably on the pit exit rejoin, I had Jackson on my bumper trying to get past me, which was pretty good racing. And then, yeah, slowly walked away from him and then made a few mistakes and invited him back into it. So, yeah, been a fairly quiet night, all things considered.
And are you going to be doing the Super 2s after this?
Absolutely, yep.
Excellent. Well, I won't keep you two any longer then. Go get ready for the Super 2s and have a good race. But before I let all of our drivers go, is there anyone that would like to thank any of their sponsors or call out anyone?
That's all
Right.
in, Dan.
Yes, I'm being handballed to me. Yep. All right. Makes sense. Given I'm one of the team guys. But yeah, look, for all of us at Orbit Drop Motorsport these days, now we've merged with another team on iRacing here. Thanks to all of them. We've got a couple of guys, might have hopefully one more joining us for the V8s as well for good measure. But we've got Encosi Engineering Solutions, Hybrid Tune, Demon Tweaks Motorsport, Hybrid Racing Simulations, Revolution Race Gear, Flight CRC, and Sim Racing Bible. I think that's the full list of them these days. To all of those businesses and partners that are on the cars at this time. Still need to get our trucks here updated to what will be the new paint job going forward as well. So hopefully have those ready for, say, next Wednesday night if I can get my act together.
Well, also,
Beyond Blue as well. Just sort of point that out.
Very true indeed, yes.
Yeah, and topical at the moment. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the new paint scheme, and thank you very much for all the drivers that have joined us in the commentary booth to kill the time until we get over to the Super 2s. Now they thanked their sponsors. We will take some time to thank our sponsors here at the GSRC, because without them, we can't bring you these broadcasts. We can't bring you experiments like tonight, where we tried to bring you at least some footage from both splits and some timings from both splits. I think that's something we'll work on and see if we can get that going even better in the future. But yes, our current club sponsors are JJZ Constructions, Flash Graphics, Sprayter Non-Alcoholic Cider, Waste Options, Orbic Australia, and M-Wave Australia, and Lobesy Racing, and the merch at the TGSRC. And if you haven't got any merch from the TGSRC, I fully recommend it. It's fairly decent quality, and the hoodie in particular is very comfortable. We're now going to take a short break before we return to you for the Super 2s in a few minutes' time. So thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon. Did I miss Brayton?
I believe so. You also missed Greg. Greg Heaney's been sitting here like a legend.
Oh, has he? Oh, god damn it. Sorry,
What's happening, Greg?
Hello. No, he didn't miss Sprayton. He missed Bowens.
Oh,
So
that's right.
Oh, Bowens!
That's right. They're Friday sponsors. That's right.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, is it me or is the stream been in like slow mo for like the last 10 minutes?
Yeah, Sam would have just put it on slow mo for like the recap at the end.
All good. I was just hoping I wasn't going crazy.
I've got a physical list of sponsors in my notepad, and I was desperately trying to get to the physical list while I was reading them out, but then they're in a different order, so hell, I didn't have both of the list. That's my bad. Hello everybody and welcome back to Wednesday Night Motorsport at the GSRC. Apologies to those who may have caught some of the banter in between the NASCAR trucks and the Super 2s. We thought our mics were off, and indeed they were still on and being broadcast. So apologies for that, but we didn't swear or anything. So I think we got away with it, and we've got a blooper wheel for the end of the season. But that is why we don't call ourselves professionals. We're very much amateurs doing this on a volunteer basis. And if you would like to have the opportunity to forget that your mic is off in between broadcasts, then do give broadcasting a go and come join us in the commentary booth, or as one of our producers, we're always looking for new blood to sacrifice on the altar of motorsport broadcasting. These are your conditions for the Super 2 round here at Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve layout that many of you will be familiar with its tricky chicanes, its close walls, and its just overall fantastic nature as a part street circuit similar to that of Albert Park. And we will be broadcasting for you the top split of the supercars, but hopefully bringing you some details of the other race as we go. Can I confirm that is the case, Sam?
Yes, as long as it doesn't crash my broadcast again, we should be good to go. Let's have a quick look now and see whether we can see what's going on. Yeah, there we go. So, bit of extra info tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to keep track of what's going on in the other split too. But I'll just get up qualifying for you first, Liam, in the Super 2s.
Yeah, so in Super 2s, this is your starting grid and your qualifying results for the
12.
40-minute race that we're about to have at Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. It is Colin Nixon on pole, doubling up after his truck series pole. No, or was that Jackson Mahana? Might have been second. Then it was Jamie Dyke in second. God, they're having a good night, the two of them. Tyson Broad is in third. Dylan Walker in fourth. Angus Lawford in fifth, with Jaden Green alongside him. Then Rogers and Buchanan will be on the fourth row, with Yemen and Hammond at the back of the top 10. Behind them is Jake Slade and Ryan Campbell, Adam Lavis and Mark Gomez, Brendan Griffiths and Periana Starkus in 16th, and then Sam Chapman, I can assure you, is not racing because he is here producing with me.
Yep, enough on tonight, I think, Liam. I don't need to be in a supercar as well.
Yeah, I think producing, trying to show two feeds for the first time, and racing might be a bit too much for one person. So this is the Super 2 split, is it not? Yes, this is the Super 2 split. And we'll have some footage and so hopefully some rolling positions of the Super 3s throughout the night, but our focus will be on Super 2 as a large priority. And it's just a single 40-minute race for you tonight. Anticipate this to be a single stop affair with perfect conditions. Can't wait to see us getting some rain supercars with Gen 3, hopefully. Oh. Just imagine the chaos.
Yeah, we can only hope. I mean, yeah, because these cars are easy enough to drive as is. Rain would certainly add a bit of spice, but yeah, I am looking forward to the Gen 3s. Hopefully they're a nice thing to drive. But nevertheless, this is the final swan song for the Gen 2s.
I mean, they're certainly prettier than the Gen 2s. I hope that's not too controversial. But enough talking about that, because we're about to get these Super 2 cars going in a forward with some forward momentum, because the lights have gone out and it's Jamie Dyke really starting his video anywhere near the first corner, and he's got a commanding lead, and Colin Nixon under pressure for second place from his colleague Tyson Broad were able to hold on. So Jamie Dyke, Colin Nixon, then Tyson Broad in the top three, but Hamilton is the force for the first sequence of corners. So they've had absolutely lightning starts with Daniel Yemen. The main negator of that is down 3 spots, with Cameron Rogers also losing a brace each. You can see them sweeping over to the right to open up the line for this chicane. You want to get a really good exit out here because you've got a nice long straight, but you're having to apply the anchors again. Now, apply the anchors a bit, not too heavy, not overtaking too big, so you can gain time, not look at the car ahead if you are faster through there. So you're going to be going through there a lot slower than the cars. overtaking opportunity for this race. I would imagine just throwing one up the inside there is going to be the move, but then of course you need to make sure you get a good run out and don't compromise your exit too much, because otherwise you're going to struggle up this long straight into the chicane and champions before the end of tonight. I can assure you, in the alternate split Super 3s, Wonka's got the lead ahead of North Rift and Allison, and those are your top 3. Taking that very, very nicely as everybody further back got it right. You can see a couple of tails wagging as they come out of the chicane, but mostly very settled through there. A couple getting closer to the wall than others, but that's how you get the pace out of that. You can just see Connor Nixon there taking a tight line. Almost ran out of space there on the inside of Jamie Dixon. Jamie Dyke looks like he caught himself out, had to check up, and now he's got Tyson Ward over his back end. And that's one of the beauties of sim racing, is that we can see car and track combinations that we're just never going to see in real life and get something a little bit special out of it, rather than just watching the cars being raced. It's a good action in the side of the fashion game. There's a race at the same time. It's going to be really interesting actually to keep that fortune here and see over the race how to see how they compare, although I will point out that the Super 3s didn't get underway slightly before the Super 2s videos, about 10 gap, probably less than that. The 3 of them very tightly packed, and there's no big gaps until we get all the way down to 12th position, so these cars able to run pretty close to each other and able to get a fairly similar pace so far. 3 seconds behind William Buchanan, and that gap has just blown out to 1.5 seconds. As we're seeing, Connor Nixon trying to get alongside into the first corner, does so and gets the move done on the inside, does he? As long as Dyke can stay there, have the inside for the long U-turn. He'll get back ahead and toss a broad pulls alongside. Takes him behind, and they'll go from this area of the track single file because it's just not one to go too wide any sort of decent speed. So Dyke's arrives and the attack there does look as if some of the cars behind might have a little bit more to pace on Doggins at the stage of the race. Jason Green. See how aggressive they are on the curves, and there's a shove off, and thankfully the car stays ahead, but it's going to get past. There's a bit of a problem with having on Jaden Green there, then gets the move double. Green's got the inside for the hairpin. This wide, that's never going to work, and then it's over the double. Well, someone has to come through. Now 3 wide, bit of a bump there. A lot of bumping going on now. Not too bad that time. I'm not sure Hammond knew that Jack Rogers was alongside him, was probably focused on Jaden Green, but Ryan Campbell slipped past all of them, made a few positions, so he's now up 6 from his starting spot. Hammond down the inside through the chicane, generally not supposed to get too wide, and he gets bent to the wall, but somehow survives with a tap on the wall. And that sends it to the inside, but a bit of a dump. Oh, this is really aggressive between the 2 of them. And now we've got more cars trying to get involved. So I think this is Yeaman making the move through, and indeed does. And Green managed to stay ahead of Hammond. That is personal between Hammond and Green. They are bumping and barging all over the place. So, yeah, I do like the chances of the 2 of them getting to the end of the race. If they keep fighting like this, but I bet they're having a lot of fun if they're not seeing red. But I mean, they've lost out, haven't they? Because now they're behind Campbell, they're behind Yemen. But Yemen's not been able to pull away like Campbell has. Campbell's got really good pace here. Really good pace. Looks like he's just pulling away ease from these guys while they're battling. And they're inviting more behind to get involved. So Jack Rogers, Robin County, Chase Lane, they're all in this battle pack now. And yeah, we're not going away from it. It's just those things that happen that we pull away. Here tonight. 6 minutes into the race. pressure from Jack Rogers in the red and white car. Of course, wearing that distinctive Bailey's livery, a livery that we see up and down the field in pretty much every single series product I see. So are the Bailey's ladders guys, and Rogers thinks better of making a move there. Did look to the inside, but thinks better of it, and then gets it all wrong for the chicane, kills all of his momentum, and now we can see Jaden Green looking to make a move, and Yemen had the inside was effectively corner one, but that one on the outside corner two. Now he ducks in behind, decides he doesn't want to get hung out on the outside because he has seen that when that happens, it can let another car through on the inside. So this belt has now settled down. Everyone's got their teacher's hats on, so a bit more sensible, and there has been a change from the lead in the other split with Chuck from Wong no longer in the lead. Still watching here, Rogers and Hammond go down back straight. It'll be really interesting to see the differences in lines. As I say that was very, very wide, not the line one. Taking some moves to get slow down towards the front of this pack. Whoever it was that basically cut that chicane there. And we can see him move there down the inside from Green on Yemen. Gets it done and shoves Yemen out wide. And that's potentially going to let Hammond time through as well. No, not able to get through. So it is Green and Yemen. Hammond. And Yemen's got a good run on Green here. He's going to launch him into the chicane. It's very, very brave to make a move there. No, I think he's going to stay single file. Yeah, that's definitely the sensible play. And Hammond almost punching him at the back. You can see the rear tyres squirming for Hammond, and he's on the brakes probably a little bit harder than he's anticipating to make sure he doesn't plough into the back of Yemen. I think that'll be what contributed to that waggle there, but kept it under control, got turned in, which is what we like to see. No moves through the opening sequence, so they'll stay single file until they get back down to the hairpin we would imagine from here. And just towards the back of the pack, Adam Lavis has moved past Brandon Griffiths, who was also falling behind Parry and Starkus. So I think Brandon Griffiths making a mistake in letting Lavis and Starkus through for 15th and 16th place, for 14th and 15th place respectively. So now just seeing some beautiful shots of the rest of the race. We can help you come back down to who we're on board with. This is Jaden Green. We're going to the right, and he's got it all wrong. Just had two wheels on the grass there. Went to turn in, no grip on offer on the loaded tyres, and that sends him in a spin, but he's done really well to recover. He has hit the wall, but only a very, very slow pace, so get away with that one. And that's very lucky. And up towards the front, Tyson Broad has also made a mistake because he's just fallen behind Dylan Walker and it's Northwood, and Colin Nixon's taking the lead in the race. Nixon is ahead of Dyke, ahead of Walker. And Tyson Broad's fallen down, so I think there's been a bit of a kerfuffle at the front of the pack, perhaps involving Dyke, Nixon and Broad. But let's see if we can get you footage of that. But right now, we're watching Rogers launch down the inside of Yemen's done that really well. You can see they both, see how much speed they both killed? They barely carried any speed through there because they wanted to make sure they got through it safely, and Yemen's not quite safe. Just about manages to hold on. That could have been 2 or 3 cars in the wall, but as it is, they managed to just hang on to these absolute beasts, and now they can send them side by side into turn 1. And Rogers just enough to keep the inside for turn 2. Then we'll give him the inside of the chicane. That will be the move done. You just don't hang it around the outside of the chicane. You don't hang it around the outside of the chicane. Is he going to try? No, he tucks in behind. And it is job done for Rogers. He is back ahead of Yemen. So Yemen, who was up in the 7th place at one point, is now back down into 11th. Meanwhile, we've got Hammond and Green side by side. This is the battle that got very, very spicy earlier with the two of them banging doors every opportunity they got. Is that going to continue? Certainly Hammond's going to throw around the outside here, and predictably there's contact, and Jaden Green is in the middle.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that, but I think it looked like he was sort of past there. A bit of a weird incident to come back to, so we'll have to have a look at a replay there.
Yeah, it all depends how alongside it was. Or good level did hang it around the outside, or whether he's in tight space on the second punch. Okay, are we able to also see if we can hunt down what happens to Tyson Ball?
Absolutely.
So hopefully we can bring that footage to you just while Sam's doing that. Oh, there he is, very, very quickly. So this is that incident. So you can see Hammond's trying to hold it on around the outside. Doesn't look like there's much of a car alongside, if any, there. But it's not the right camera angle to be judging it from.
No, it's not. It's I'm actually holding it from Tropicam. It's a bit of a difficult one. Just looking at it, there is overlap here. I think green 40 was passed, and
yeah,
potentially wasn't. I actually don't think there's really a case to answer for you, just off that look.
I agree. That looks very much like very much just like a miscalculation. He didn't look like he was trying to go for the move. It looked like he thought he was fully behind. Looked like he thought he was fully behind Green. Green thought he was fully ahead, and then they just both miscalculated ever so slightly and then made contact.
So this was for the first
Dyke
place. This was
going off, so he's just gone deep, and then that's like Colin Nixon take the lead.
Yeah. God, there's been real
What's
chaos
happened?
going in this midfield.
Midfield chaos. There we go. So this will be Rogers and Yemen. So Yemen trying to get back past Rogers. I'm not sure who the big bear entry is. That one, James Slade.
So this is a battle with Yemen, Rogers, Cannon, and Slade. Yes.
Yes, that's another what happens here. So side by side hanging towards the chicane. We've seen cars go 2 by 2 through there, but not very well. And it's going into pit lane and almost get caught out. So that's Jack Rogers diving into pit lane. He becomes the second car to stop after Jaden Green, but of course we saw Jaden Green involved in that contact, so that was not a scheduled stop. Happy to say that it looks like he has continued in the race though, so props to him for continuing to go on when things haven't gone his way. Yeah, that battle pack. You can see what that battle pack has done. So we saw Brian Campbell come through that battle pack, cut through it like a hot knife through butter to get ahead of Hammond and Green while they were having their original battle, and Hammond just got off. That was who we just saw going off the chicane. Let's see if we can get footage of that. It looked like he just got it wrong. Not sure whether he hit the ball, but he certainly ended up on the grass. He's lost a heap of positions. He's still losing a heap of time, so don't think it's fine. But yeah, he's just not. Maybe not. So what's he done here? Rotation was just into the brake, so maybe touch the outside. No.
What's the camera angle for it?
He's continued to lose time since then, so I think he's got
His
damage.
car's damaged. His car's
Yeah.
damaged. Let's have another quick look at it.
So when did the
from
car get
top.
damaged then?
Must have hit something.
So he's gone deep into the wall.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got some.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, big
that'll do it.
contact. Yeah, that'll wreck your car. And I can still see him with that time. On the plus side, he might pit and then come out right near Jaden Green again, and we can have a resumption of that battle. That is close to the wall. You don't want to get any closer to that wall if you're doing Slade. On the one hand, it's absolutely perfect. On the other hand, he might have been squeezing his butt cheeks as he went through that one. As Colin Nixon sets the fastest lap of the race last time round on 1:36.6. Jamie Dyke all but matches him with 1:36.7, and two of them were second clear of the rest of the field with Walker and Broad both in the mid 1:37s. So the two of them looking to make their decisive break to turn this into a two-way battle for the lead.
Yeah, and I must say I've got a very funny pop-up come up on my screen. Apparently, I've overtaken Eli Roberts for the final place, for 18th place. So not quite sure what's going on with the timing there, but.
Yeah, I have to say there's been some good battling going on in the other split. If you haven't been keeping an eye on that, do keep an eye on that footage in the bottom left-hand corner. Of course, we can't commentate on that because we don't have the information. It's hard enough commentating on one race, but there is some fantastic racing, as we can see a car making a move up the inside. through there, and that seems to have been a feature of the Super 3s so far tonight. But we're following the Super 2s here as your predominant screen, and that is Walker and Broad in their battle. Broad hold a second behind Walker, the two of them teammates for drop there. And Broad originally winning because it was in the battle for, we still didn't see what happened to Broad, but it was in the battle with Nixon and Dyke, but he's fallen down to 5th, just recovered to 4th. But that's going to kill any of his hopes of winning this race unless he can crawl back over 5 seconds. It's a really tough ask given the pace he has shown, not just in the Supercars, but in the trucks earlier tonight as well. So we still haven't seen many cars pit, so Jack Rogers has pitted out that battle. Mike Hammond has returned to track 20 seconds off the rest of the field, so that damage really destroyed his car. Trying to bring that back round has not gone well for him, so he's really out of the running. Jaden Green is not out of the running. He's only about 3 seconds behind Jack Rogers, who was with originally, so I think he's been able to run some pretty good lap times in the clean air he's found since he got involved in that accident with Hammond, and is sort of brought himself back into play a bit as I'm watching this battle here. So this is Walker trying to defend from Ward, who will feel like that podium spot should be his. You see the slipstream he's getting as they approach the chicane. Is he going to be bold and throw one down the inside? No, it's going to get a little bit above, and hope that just puts off Ward. And yeah, no, Walker dives into the pit lane. So now will be the time for Ward and Lawford to show us the pace that they've got, to see if they can get a overcut on Walker. But generally, actually with these cars, there's not too much tire warmth, is there? So I don't expect there to be too much of an undercut at play here, other than if you get. So we need to see who comes ahead out of these three once the field is cleansed. Colin Nixon's just pulled away a little bit from Dyke at the front of the field as well until they get to one seconds.
Yeah, they all seem to be sorting themselves out here a little bit. But the pit lane sequence could absolutely throw it up. We're nearing that sort of halfway point in the race, so I would expect most of these guys will look at pitting sooner. A lot of them, I'd imagine, top pack will try and do even stints if they think they can get out and clean air. Otherwise, they'll just take and try and fit the tyre fall off these pretty high. Oh, it's getting close up front though.
Yes, Colin Nixon must have made a mistake there, because Jamie Dyke has absolutely latched himself to the rear. He's going to have an opportunity for a move here, or it might be a good time to dive into the pits if he decides they can't get the move done. But he's pulling alongside early in the straight. He's got overspeed. There's a little bit of door-to-door. He's going to have the inside for the chicanes. They both go into pit lane. They go into pit lane side by side. Jamie Dyke tucks in behind Colin Nixon. And I think they've both got in cleanly. I hope they both got in cleanly. It's such an aggressive pit lane. I love that pit entry. It's so different to anything else we've seen, where you actually carry more speed into pit entry, not just like tucking yourself off. It's absolutely spectacular to watch cars dive in there when they're in the middle of battle. But this will be really interesting. Oh, and Dyke's gone deep. Dyke's gone deep into his pit box. So Colin Nixon will definitely get out ahead, because that will cost Dyke a second or two. You saw it live on your screens. Some of the other cars continue on. There's Ward continues on. He's got clean air now. I imagine he will run as long as he can. Though he's got Lawford right behind him, trying to give him a bit of a hurry up. So Colin Nixon and Jamie Dyke do come back out. Dyke didn't lose too much time, only about a second in the end through that pit sequence. And two of them have got 3.5 seconds of clean air to Slade. So what will be interesting is if Tyson, Broad and Lawford do continue, and Nixon and Dyke catch Slade quickly, then that could be very important tactically if they do get held up. I was watching Dylan Walker battling with Mark Gomez. Really good side-by-side action there, and Walker able to hold the position off from Gomez. Gomez hasn't pitted yet, Walker has, so we expect Walker to be quicker at this phase of the race. E-Racing cheering on their team member Jake, who's doing a good job there in 6th place currently, although he's yet to pit, so you expect that to fall down there. Saying that Rain is in no man's land, so that would be Rain Campbell. Yeah, we saw him get through that battle pack and then set on trying to catch the leaders, but he doesn't quite have the pace to really pull that gap in. He's easily pulling away from that battle pack. So he's having a nice comfortable race now, and we'll get a good result should everything go his way. Then he doesn't throw off the track. So yeah, he's an absolute blind, and that was really key for his race. Getting through that battle pack cleaner than scale, just letting them continue to beat each other to a bloody pulp while he takes a comfortable stroll down the street singing his music. As we just cut over to Connor, Nix and Jake Dyke. They're now within a second of Jake Slade. This is a battle for position technically, but Jake Slade is yet to pit, but this is crucial for the race. If he holds up Nixon and Dyke, it could bring Broad and Lawford back into the victory battle. So they need to get past Slade as quick as they can, ideally before the chicane. And you can see Connor Nixon is flashing his lights at him, trying to put him off, trying to let him know, hey, we're quicker than you, let us through. But it is battle for position. He is not obliged to get out of the way. As we watch Hammond go for a spin into the wall of champions, and yeah, a bit of a letdown actually in the end. There was a touch there. Let's see Colin Nixon up the inside of Slade, gets through, and Slade's in between Nixon and Dyke now, so Dyke will be desperate to get the move done up this straight. He'll bet that he can get on the inside. Then that Slade will yield for the chicane, but if he doesn't get up the inside, I expect Slade to be a fair bit slower for the chicane than Dyke. Dyke gets up the inside, no he doesn't, and Slade pits. So that's really good news for Dyke. He's able to stay with Nixon, hasn't cost him any time. Yeah, he's still within a second, and the two of them now are effectively chasing down a virtual Tyson Broad. Angus Lawford was right behind Broad and has pitted, so we can see where he feeds out to give us a bit of a taste of what the gap might be, and it's going to be a healthy gap of at least a few seconds. Angus Lawford now exiting pits.
Yep, so Dyke was actually pretty much 2 seconds slower than, faster than Tyson Broad last lap, so that's that tyre fall off. We'll see if Tyson can bring back any time towards the end of the race with better tyres, but I guess good work to stay on as long as he has here, just see what he can do in clean air. There's a lot of battles on track, and a lot of these guys are losing a lot of time, so maybe that's his thought process.
Yeah, the problem for him is, I mean, the good news, it's not going to work out right, because you've got Dylan Walker only 2 seconds behind Angus Lawford now. So Lawford's pitted on possibly the last lap if they could do that and have clean air. And you've got Rain Campbell only another 5 seconds further back. Tyson Broad's going to go as far along as he can to get the offset, but he will have been running on older tyres for longer than the cars around him, so overall you think that would be a slower race strategy. Like I said, it might give him a hope of overtaking, but I think he'd have to be a faster car prior to that for it to work, because we've seen Dyke get alongside Colin Nixon. This is for the lead of the race, and Dyke's going to have the move done before they even reach the chicane. No need to go side by side. Dyke's going to cut across and take the racing line through the chicane, as Colin Nixon was just got an all run coming out of the hairpin. He just had no momentum onto the straight, and Jamie Dyke gets the move done. So that is for the lead of the race, not on track, but virtually. And now it's the lead on track because Tyson Broad has indeed pitted. He's gone 1 lap extra than Lawford, which should put him behind Lawford, but hopefully he'll come out, hopefully for his sake, he'll come out ahead of Dylan Walker, and that is the biggest tyre offset he can afford to give himself. So 1 lap to Lawford and 3 laps to Dyke, and Nixon's not going to be enough to make a huge difference on pace.
So Tyson Broad's jumped these
guys.
guys.
He would have had to take less fuel though, because he pitted later.
Yeah, so he's taken a bit less fuel than Lawford behind. He's had a couple of seconds less pit lane time than the two behind him. Nixon actually was the shortest pit lane time at 40.7. Tyson was 41.3. So yeah, good job on strategy there, and now he's on fresher tyres. He should be able to run away with this for a nice third place.
Yeah, that's certainly what he'll be planning to do, although I'm sure Angus Lawford would like to put a spanner in the works if he can, or indeed a full-sized car in the works if he can. We see Colin Nixon now trying to do to Dyke what Dyke did to him, and just get a run out of the hairpin. but Dyke able to hold on for now, but Nixon's going to get out of this slipstream down the straight. Oh, they're going to go side by side for the chicane. Can't imagine they will with 15 minutes left, but if it's getting towards the last 2 or 3 laps, I we might see a bit like this. Oh, Con Nixon took that beautifully. He was able to carry a bit more speed, but wasn't able to maintain the momentum all throughout the corner. So he entered faster, but didn't translate to a better exit speed than Dykes. Dykes able to hold on. See, it seems to be a bit of a pattern there in corner 1 and in corner, so in the chicane and into the second corner. We saw Nixon able to carry more entry speed, but Dyke just had him on exit speed.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to comment on as well, so Nixon clearly has these pit stops down pat. He did a very similar pit time, so time at the stop to everyone else, but was much faster through the pit lane itself. So whether he's doing the old Denchi trick of, you know, not put the limiter on and dab it a little bit over, or he was just very exact on entry, I'm not sure. But he's going to go for it here.
He's going to be on the outside for the hairpin. Wonder if he'll do a tuck underneath or whether he'll try and hold on around the outside. He was almost like half a car ahead, but it's just not the right place to be, and Dyke's able to hold on yet again. So Nixon had the advantage and for a moment was ahead there, but not able to turn that into an overtake. Got a good run up the straight there though. Oh, he's a bit of a jump that goes on the grass. Not sure what the strategy is there. It's just trying to find any way to get to the inside. You can't go around the outside at the chicane, but Dyke doing the absolute right thing and just parking it right on the inside and being like, no, you can't have the inside. There's nothing you can do to get the inside. I'm going to make you go to the outside, and as you go to the outside, I'm going to open it as much as you let me. And yeah, really good racecraft from Dyke there to keep Nixon behind, and Nixon just not able to find a way through. Needs to be careful though. They can close to contact a couple of times, and we don't want to see a repeat of what happened with Rohana in the trucks. Frustrating for Nixon though. You can see that the wind is right now. He's just got to find a way past this car. He'll believe that he's slightly quicker than Dyke ahead, given how he's been able to stick within half a second for so many laps, but just can't find a way through. And Dyke, every lap that he stays ahead, the more and more comfortable he's going to be with this position, the more and more comfortable he's going to be that he can keep Nixon behind, and that means it's going to be less and less likely for him to make a mistake as we approach the end of this race with only 11 minutes remaining, which will translate to roughly 5 laps. Very this is correct. You can see a little bit of jinking going on into the chicane as Nixon trying to figure out which way to go, and Dyke trying to figure out where to defend. But both doing it very cleanly and getting out of the hairpin nicely. And now we'll give us the context again. The slipstream. Dyke will defend the inside. Will go there early. No, he doesn't go there. Doesn't go there. Nah, now he goes there. Now he realizes that Nixon's got the overspeed. So no. Now I will compromise my line. So Nixon will come from a wider line and try and carry more momentum through there to get himself a run into corner 1, which is just about going to work. He's going to be alongside going into corner 1, but he's going to have the inside here, but that's going to become the outside into corner 2. So he's going to have to really send it around the outside if he wants the position, and decides instead tuck in behind, and there he's going to have to sit until they get the hairpin again. And we play this game over and over. The pattern continues. When will the pattern be broken? As we see Ryan Campbell getting it real squirrely on the outside, on the exit of the chicane. He's down in 8th place behind the likes of Buchanan, Yevon and Walker, who was ahead of. So I wonder if he's had a bigger mistake somewhere. Because I thought he was running in a stronger position than that, but it looks like he's getting a
He's had a crash, which we'll go back to after this. You got to say, Jamie Dyke's doing a bit of a defensive masterclass there on exactly where to put the car. You see Nixon is getting a bit more agitated as time goes on. But this 3-car battle as well is brilliant. And it's on again. Nixon down the inside. Will Jamie Dyke be able to pull this back up on the straight though? He's going to be on the outside.
See what Nixon did? Try to park on the exits, try and make sure They couldn't get a very good run, but Dyke did get a run. He's going to hold them as much to the inside as he can, and then he's going to sweep back across at the end of the straight to give himself the best line. Is he? No, they're going to be door-to-door on entry, and Dyke has to yield to Nixon. So Nixon's back in the lead of this one. Had the lead outside of the stops. Dyke got past, and now it is Nixon once again ahead as we enter the last 7.5 minutes of this one. They're going to go side by side for corner one. Looks like they might be. Dyke on the inside, Nixon on the outside, which means Dyke's on the outside for turn 2, and he took some behind because he knows he just cannot find enough momentum to get the move done around the outside. There's going to tuck him behind and knows he's going to have to try and make something work at the hairpin, but he gets a swapper on, and that costs him a bunch of momentum. He's going to have to earn that time back on Nixon.
Yeah, could have been a few tyres here. It did look like there was a little bit of hip and shoulder going into that final chicane as well to sort of bump him out. So I don't know whether that was just braking or a little strategy, but those controls hands. But we'll see. I think Connor will probably run away with this at this point. His driving looks very precise around here. He's hitting all those apexes when you see Dyke's, not always hitting each one of them. And it does look like he's pulling away.
Yeah, so let's go have a look and see if we can pick up that crash for Campbell, and then let's have a look at the move for the lead again. Catch up a bit further back. So this is Ryan Campbell, so he's going to get it rung into the hairpin. Yeah, it goes for a little spin. Rejoins. And I think must get it rung again coming through the chicane. There's sliding. That's so it looks like he's going to have a compromised line to chicane. No, so he comes back across. And then this is where we picked it up, is after he came from here and he had a big swapper on.
Yeah, so that the car ahead was a bit slow through there, so he's just gone to avoid it and then also been able to get alongside at the same time. So it must have been quite a slow exit there for the car ahead.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look at the move on Nixon. So this is that move from a bit earlier on. So didn't see how this was started, so he's just goes for a big lunge. And it gets it turned.
That's a massive move.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah, he knew that he needed that inside line through there, but it did compromise him on the exit because it was just so deep and had to put every bit of tyre into pulling that up. And then there's a bit of a bump there, nothing in that. And yeah, Jamie's just had to pull out of it. He's known that too wide through there was probably going to be in chaos. So great battle for these two.
Yeah, let's go back to the live of that battle because it is continuing. It's not over yet. We've got 6 minutes to go in this one. So we should have about another 4 laps. Connor Nixon ahead of Dyke, but hasn't been able to pull away. Dyke's got that gap. It was out to 0.8 seconds. It's back down to 0.4. So Dyke certainly able to run with Nixon at this point. But we're able to make a move. We saw how big a move it had to be for Nixon to get past Dyke, and Dyke was putting on a defensive masterclass before then. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, Ben, I agree with you on that one. I just saw little nudges as they went in, and I wasn't sure whether there was anything in it, but certainly nothing in that. So, no, all is fair in love and war and supercars. That's fair game. It's a wonderful battle. They're doing really well.
Yeah, it looked more. I think it looked more aggressive when we were initially watching them than it did from the camera shot. From the camera shot, you can see it really was very, very small nudges. Just drivers trying to feel out whether the other one was going to move, and knowing that they could take it right to it. Take it right to them with the supercars, and then I'm going to go slowly flying off the track. Definitely didn't look like either tried to actually unsettle the other. Just each playing chicken with who was gonna give up their position. One decided to get wide.
Absolutely, and that's the bonus of these cars, right? Is that you can have a bit of biff and barge. That's part of the fun of them. Is that you can scrape a panel here and there, and as long as you're doing it fairly, there's no netcode. It's all okay.
Yeah, and that's where it gets tricky, right? Because certainly in real life you can have pretty big contact and get away with it. But in iRacing, you can't quite race and say, well, that's wrong from Nixon. Nixon's got a run there, and Dyke's got a really good run for the chicane. He's going to take the lead. He's going to have the lead quite easily once they get to the first corner, I imagine. Oh, I think the side draft, Nixon's been able to stay with him. Yeah, he's had to tuck behind. If he'd been able to hold on around the outside, they would have the inside for him and been able to regain it. But he's not been able to do that. He's actually just behind. He's snuck a nose up on the inside there. No, it's not behind. So that is Dyke back ahead of Nixon with probably another 2, maybe 3 laps after this one. That was a spicy meatball there. Well, let's see if we can get another shot of what happened with Nixon. It looked like he just got it wrong for the chicane, carried a little bit too much momentum, had to check up on the exit.
Yeah, it was just too deep and had to check on the exit. It honestly did well not to bin that, really.
Yes.
And then, I mean, he's come across that's actually slowed Dyke up, I reckon, that contact as well. Hence why he didn't quite get past as quickly. Wanted to hold around the outside, but really didn't have overlap there. And then, yeah, really wanted to shoot up that inside, but lit up those rears a bit. So the battle continues.
Yeah, just the continuing point I was making, you can have some contact, you have to be more careful because of that event mode. So there's always a chance that the contact will get magnified, so you can't have quite contact you can have in real life. But otherwise, we're going to see the supercars and you can't get away with it.
What was this lap traffic we've got coming up?
It is. Probably needs to take a lot of curve there. You saw how unsettled the car got, and it's allowed Dyke to pull out a couple of attempts through there. You bet on Nixon to pull that back, but Nixon, after you mentioned about how precise he was looking, all of a sudden he's looking a little bit ragged. Perhaps a bit of fatigue, perhaps losing the tyres a little bit, or perhaps just the pressure of being in that lead battle for so long weighing on him as we're watching Slade getting past Buchanan for 8th place, which sees Slade up for his start. The biggest move at the moment. He's up 5, Daniel Gaiman is up 3, and they are in 7th and 6th place respectively. Other than that, no real big movers up and down the grid. Certainly not upwards. Jaden Green, the big loser, compared to his qualifying, he's down 5 spots. But of course, that was helped by a bit of contact from Mikey Hammond, who eventually did retire the car. So just watching while Dyke and Nixon get a little bit closer to each other. Just going to have a look, see how this battle progresses. Mark Gomez, Jaden Green is on the recovery trail. After showing some decent pace and some battling earlier on after an unfortunate contact with Mikey Hammond. I believe he's just got race. Jaden Green pitted on lap 7, Gomez pitted on lap 14, so Michael actually Green, Gomez putting pressure on Green with much fresher tyres.
This is back with the battle for the lead, and Nixon's not going to give this up. There's no doubt about that. We must be on the final lap now. Yep, we would be. With 40 seconds left on the clock. Try this. No!
Oh, that's contact. No!
And
But he redresses it.
He's going to do what he did last race and redress it, so credit where it's due there. They've got 11 seconds to car behind, so alright, keep battling.
Yeah, it was ambitious that one, wasn't it? You can see what he did. He dummied to the inside for 1, and actually, I think his intention the whole time was to try and get the inside for 2. But Dyke was aware of it, and it was one of those things. He left a little bit of gap on the inside, but not enough for a car to get down. But it was too inviting for Nixon to pass it off the far right the race and make contact. He redresses. Second time he's redressed in 2 races. So I'm interested to see if there's a big move down the hairpin. You know it's coming. You got to bet that. Your Dyke, how defensive you go, because you don't want to compromise your run onto the back straight too much. Well, he's going to have to defend inside here, surely from Nixon. You can see Nixon can pull up a big move, and he's defending the inside. Nixon's going to sit on the outside. Going to try and cut it back. No, he's trying to go all the way around the outside. That's not going to work.
Let's crash this.
You can crash on the inside in front of these two. Dyke's not going to want Nixon to get tugged in. There he is. The weaving starts as they go down the straight. Nixon's got 1. Chance only. Still winning here. The net is through the chicane. Dyke goes to the inside, defending there as he has done all race. We know he's been aggressive there. He pulls back over to the outside to give himself the best line he can. Nixon feels obliged to put his car on the outside, but knows he's not going to get past. And it is Dyke who's going to hold on to take a spectacular victory in the Super 2s. With Connor Nixon a valiant second place. And Tyson Ward will come home 10 seconds down the road in third place. Dyke and Nixon, that was fantastic stuff. I hope you're both very happy with that one.
What a race. That was brilliant battling. Obviously went over the line at one point, but a redress means that they can keep battling, and we don't have to worry about whatever race control are thinking afterwards. So, yeah, that's a great job from these guys, and brilliant job from Jamie Dyke to hold on to that position under such pressure there.
Yeah, I'm glad after the contact at the end that Dyke got the win, because he was just that little bit cleaner in the battling. So I think he was a deserved winner for sure. But good to see the regress from Con Nixon. I do wonder if we will see if we will get a little bit of a talking to from race control. Maybe just hey, like, you did regress it, but would have been even better if it didn't happen in the first place. Maybe up to the racing control's discretion, but I certainly don't see a penalty coming his way, given that he redressed. Yeah, some really good racing there. I think that's probably the best supercars battle we've seen so far in our short stint as Wednesday night commentators. Wouldn't you agree, Sam?
Absolutely. It's supercars are one of those ones where they can turn it on. When they're on, they're brilliant, and when they're not, they can be a bit on the boring side. But wow, I mean, it's Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. You know, as Zach would say, it's there's nothing that Circuit Gilles Villeneuve can't create into a good race. So, wonderful racing from these guys tonight. Great combination.
Yeah, they've done a spectacular job here, and not just Dyke and Nixon. We saw really good battling up and down the field. We saw that absolute gloves off battle between Hammond and Green. I do wonder if the stewards will have a look at a few moments in that battle, if any got caught out by the drivers at the time. But yeah, really hard racing. I think the supercars pack just decided they were going to go for it tonight, and go for it they absolutely did. You know, we're able to see who was victorious in the Super Free Split, as I pulled some drivers into the room for a chat. A few of these you've already heard from tonight, but don't let that put you off. We'll start with Tyson Broad. Tyson, third place in the end. Can you just talk us through what happened? Because you were running in a solid third, and then you fell back down to fifth. But I don't think we saw the incident on the. Don't think we saw the reasoning for that on the stream.
iRacing excessive slowdowns. That's just the simple answer there. Got one on the backstraight chicane leading to the hairpin, and yeah, that's what it did me in.
How many seconds was it?
About 2 or so, which was excessive given the cut. So it is what it is. Otherwise, I felt as though I could have kept up with Connor and Jamie for the rest of the race.
And then you went long compared to everybody else. What was the thinking behind that strategy?
Mainly just because I wanted to have tyres towards the end. I sort of saw my pace compared to everyone else, and it's like, right, okay, the only person I've really got to worry about is Dylan, my teammate. But then I heard he kept getting a bunch of slowdowns, so it's like, okay, well, that's free pass for me then. And yeah, I was hoping to merge a bit closer to Connor and Jamie, so therefore we could have a battle. But yeah, just small mistakes throughout the race cost me.
Yeah, they can pan as well. Once you end up behind other cars, because then you lose time trying to overtake them, and then yeah. But there's always next week, right?
Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend next week, so
Right.
it's the week after. But yeah, no, there's always other rounds to make it up, and I guess it's good now that I believe I am in the championship lead, so good to get that.
Yeah, and whilst you weren't able to get into the battle for the win like you would have liked to, it's still finishing third after you started in third, so still not a bad race.
Yeah, not a bad one. Just got to thank all the Orbit Drop Bear boys for having a dip tonight, and all our sponsors and the series for putting on the event.
And now we'll cut from one dangerous, rabid Australian native animal to another, and we'll go to Connor Nixon. Connor, really, really entertaining battle between yourself and Jamie that lasted pretty much all race.
Yeah.
Just talk us through the battle and some of your favourite moments from it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, just bumping the whole way. I was telling the boys in the drop bear Discord saying like I don't know where the limit is on race control, so I didn't want to have like a massive dip unless it was 100%, and that's what the guys said as well. Just so we didn't have Fishy sending emails later. So yeah, look, it was just yeah, it was good battles. Yeah, the car pace was good, but it was just very like. Yeah, I don't know. It was good, but I just had small mistakes, so just need to work on not making those mistakes really.
Yeah, to be fair, I think you caught a bit of a commentary jinx from Sam because he said you were looking pretty precise with your controls, and then a couple of laps later you got it wrong going into the chicane and lost the lead. So I think you can blame Sam for that one.
Yeah, typical, eh? But no, it's just just mistakes that cost me the win. And Jamie had a good drive, I guess, and he had good drive out of the corner. Most of the corners when he needed it, and just blocked like hell. So yeah, it's just so hard to get around here as well. Like you've either just got to have the biggest lobs ever, or just do like these bumps and taps through the corner. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a great lob into the hairpin to get the lead, but how gut-wrenching was it when you lost it coming out of the chicane? Because you must have known it was coming once you went deep going in, and how hard you'd worked to get past. So was it pretty heartbreaking to see him get back past with 3 laps remaining?
Oh, it wasn't that. It was more trying to keep it out of the wall. I saw the car go sideways, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna hurt." So, no, it was all good. Got it straightened up. But yeah, I knew it was kind of over after that. I was like, well, we can either just do bumps through the corner and just get him to smoke the rear rights, or the rear, sorry. And that's what we kind of did. But we had a lob in the last turn 2, but look, it was just the door wasn't open, and I just tried to force the error. But with iRacing, it's typical. You bump one car and they go to the moon. So solid drive for me. But yeah, just a few mistakes that need to be fixed up, and we should be good to go.
Yeah, thanks heaps for joining us again in the commentary box for the second time tonight. But best of luck with the rest of your racing for the week.
Yeah, appreciate it. Just want to thank all the drop bear boys, and hopefully we go well on the weekend. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, hopefully you do. And now we'll cut to the winner from our Super 2 race, and that was Jamie Dyke, the other half of that incredible battle. Jamie, same question. Just talk us through some of your favourite moments from the battle. And if you're there, you're on mute. All right, so Jamie might not be there. So while we wait for him to unmute, let's see if we've got Angus with us. Angus, have we got you? All right.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah.
Yes, there we go. We got one of the two. Jamie, just let us know when you've got your mic sorted out. Angus finished 4th, started in 5th. How was the race from your perspective?
It was pretty good. I just wanted to link onto the back of the front group and just save fuel. I knew the drop bear guys would have worked together predominantly through that, so I knew there wasn't going to be anything really silly, but I wanted to make sure that I was there to capitalize if there was. But the long race pace was really good. Ended up starting to catch Tyson towards the end there, but the penultimate lap, I compression locked into, I think it's 7, the right-hander at the end of the straight. So yeah, it sent me a bit wide and dropped me back to 4 seconds behind him, which was unfortunate. It would have been good to have a last lap battle for 3rd with Broad there, but yeah, it was pretty good.
And are podiums the target season long?
Honestly, want to try and get as high up as possible all season. I know it's going to be a tight field up the top of the pack, so any major points that we can get to go towards the championship would be a bonus. So yeah, try and aim high.
Yeah, so the championship's definitely on your mind. That season-long finishing position is what you're aiming for.
Yeah, well, last season I finished second in the championship, so definitely got the urge to try and make it one step further.
Yeah, well, best of luck in that endeavor. And how are you feeling about next week's race?
Where is next week again? I can't remember.
Next week.
You're at Motegi next week, sprint race.
Yeah, I like Motegi. I enjoyed it a few seasons back in the old cars, so I'm pretty keen on that actually.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hopefully then we'll see you taking it a bit further onto the podium and perhaps even the top step next week. But until then, best of luck with all your racing, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
No worries. Cheers, guys. Thanks to Project 36, Simrigs, Cataclysm, CC Forge, Shockworks, and Quokka. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. And I think now we have got Jamie Dyke. Jamie, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry about that.
No worries. Absolutely excellent battle between yourself and Colin Nixon, which came out on top of. Just talk us through some of the key moments and how you're feeling during those moments.
Oh, I was sweating. Heart was racing. Connor was definitely the quickest driver, in my opinion. I don't know what emails he's talking about, but yeah, if he hadn't have got that slowdown in the chicane, he probably would have won it.
Yes. Yeah, that was the key moment, wasn't it? Because he'd made that fantastic lunge to get past you at the hairpin, which was key moment sort of number one that put him in a best position to win. But then he got it wrong into the chicane, let you back past, and after that you were like a pit bull with a toy. You just weren't letting it go.
Yeah, I mean, when you fight for the lead, you never do you?
No.
But I don't know if I had the setup that I ran Scops on. I don't know if that was the same setup or not, but I wasn't confident under brakes tonight. But I knew if I took it easy in the braking zone, I'd have pretty good drive out of the corner, and that just, that set it up really for a good fight.
Yeah, it was a really, really good fight. You said you were sweating bullets. How much of that was just adrenaline and nerves versus just pure enjoyment that you could have such a good battle with somebody else?
I mean, it's 50-50. I raced Connor, every round we do Scops. I've raced him in other leagues. We race hard together, hard but fair together. We always have, and that's really good. But it's a lot of hard work racing against him because he's either only a tiny bit slower or a bit quicker, and we're always there or thereabouts.
Yeah, it's great when you got a rival like that, though, that you know you can race fairly cleanly with. How are you feeling on that final lap into turn 2 when you felt the punt? I imagine there was a few curses going on before you realised he was redressing.
Nah, not really. I knew Connor was gonna give it up, and he didn't want to risk getting a penalty for it. But I was more worried. I probably kind of let it happen because I didn't think he was going to dive there. I thought he was going to go harder at the hairpin. That's where I was most vulnerable all race.
Yeah, I mean, as proven by the fact they got past you there earlier in the race. Although we had a look back and it was from quite a long way back in the end. I'd say your defensive driving was fantastic throughout. You're putting the car in all the right places. How are you feeling for the championship? Is the championship you right?
Not particularly. I haven't quite looked at the points yet. We're only 3 rounds in. I had an absolute shocker. I think I DNF'd round 1. Willow Springs is not my forte, but we'll just keep plodding along and do a few more rounds and then start looking at the championship, I guess.
Is Willow Springs anyone's forte?
I've heard it's some people's, but not ours.
Don't start the Willow Springs slander again, man. I won't have it. That's.
I knew that would wind Sam up. Look, thank you very much for joining us in the booth. Congratulations on your win. It's really well earned. Go enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Liam. Thanks, Sam. Have a good one.
Nice.
All right, and now it's time for us to thank all the sponsors that allow us to put on these broadcasts. If you would like to become a club sponsor, just talk to any of the committee members and they will hook you up. But for now, our club sponsors are... Have we got the graphic working for the bottom of the screen?
Nah, run along the top, Liam.
Along the top. Right, we have got Waste Options, Flash Graphics, M-Wave Australia, Sprayton Non-Alcoholic Cider, the merch at TGSRC, Lobesy Racing, JJZ Constructions, and our newest sponsor, Bowens, who are sponsoring the Downforce Legends on the Friday night. So we welcome them as a new club sponsor. Sam, any final words before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I've just got the results up for Split 2, so the Super 3. So it was Wade Sheedy who got it off Dane Northdrift, so 12 seconds in that. So whether or not we see Sheedy up here next week, given his fastest lap looks to be about 1.2 seconds faster than the guys behind, as similar as we saw with Woodsy a week or two ago. Yeah, so Northdrift, Chip Von Wong, Richard King, Aaron Bryan, Joe Della Rosa, Kurt Nommensen, and Shane Nowens round out the top 8 there. As well, I'll just have a quick look if Adam has updated. He's almost there with the points spreadsheet. It's just not quite in order, but that's okay. We can have a quick look at that too. It is Jamie Dyke who's out ahead. Tyson Broad and Angus Lawford are there in second place on 126 points from 138, followed by Connor Nixon in fourth. So really tight battle there at the top, and a couple of Fords and a couple of Holdens in that too.
Yeah, it's certainly close enough that any drop rounds that they might have across these first 3 would mean that any of them could be in the actual lead. Once we get to the point where drop grounds are applied. So very, very close between them, and I think we're going to have a spectacular battle for the championship throughout the remaining 7 rounds of this series. But before we get to the next round of this, we've got plenty of racing for you coming up from the GSRC. We've got Thursday Night Motorsport tomorrow, starting with the GT4s from Phillip Island, and then the Porsche Cup at Portimao. Those are 2 spectacular tracks, so tune in for that tomorrow. Then we have a broadcast on a Friday night with our new sponsors Bowens for the Downforce Legends, and that is from the New Hampshire Roval in the Radical SR8s. Then on Saturday, as always, we have the Mountain Men, which are racing the SCCA Spec Racer this week at the most famous of Aussie circuits, Bathurst. Then on Monday, we'll bring you the first broadcast of next week with the LMP2 Challenge from Red Atlanta, leading in to the GT3s from Interlagos, and racing at Interlagos is always spectacular. Words cannot express how much I love that racetrack. It is phenomenal. And then after that, on the Tuesday, we will have the Intro Formulas, followed by the Super Formula Lights. And the Intro Formulas will
V's at Cadwell Park, so I reckon that's going to be a ripper combination. Obviously, super tight circuit, very difficult to overtake generally, but in a Formula V, that'll be wonderful. And then the SFLs following the F1 will be at Coda. So 40-minute race for those guys.
Those will be spectacular at Coda. That is a brilliant track. I think that'll be an excellent combination. Both the Formula V's at Cadwell and the Super Formula at Circuit of the Americas. So do get on out and join us for those. No broadcast, but plenty of spots to go racing. And that is back to a normal time after being moved 30 minutes earlier this week, which I think did hamper the participation in the Intro Formula. But not that I'm complaining, because it worked out well for us, didn't it, Sam?
Yes, it did. Other than race 3, but no, we had a lovely little result in Intro Formula. So hopefully these things continue.
Hopefully they continue. They won't continue for me in the Formula V. That car,
not with that attitude.
It's a spiteful machine for people that hate taking corners with any sort of speed. or going fast in a straight line, or just doing anything fast. Really, they're spiteful.
Is this anti-V chat right now?
Sorry.
I'm lodging my resignation.
I know you love the
commentator.
V's.
This
I
is
know
out of
you love the V's.
control.
I just can't. It's because I'm crapping them. That's the problem. I can't like anything I'm crapping. I need you to tune me. Anyway, enough banter. Thank you very much for joining us for the entirety of the stream tonight. If you're with us for the trucks, fantastic. Thank you for being with us for 3 or 4 hours tonight. If you joined us for the Super 2 and are still hanging on just to hear us ramble on, and thank you very much. But we're about to say good night, and we'll see you next time.